I'm continuing reading in the Gospel of John chapter 17, and I want to pick up now at verse 14. And YAHUSHA is speaking here. He's praying to the Father, and he says in verse 14, I have given them, he's talking about the disciples, your word, and the world has hated them because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. You know, I don't know how about you, but I'm not of this world. I mean, many years ago when I received the Mashiach, you know, my desires totally changed. And now we still have to live in this world, but until he comes to take us unto himself, you and I have the world to deal with. But we don't have to be a part of the world. And I don't associate myself, my identification with the world. I set my affection on things above, not on things on the earth, as the scripture declares that we're to do. And I want to encourage you to do the same. And he says, they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. And then he says, in verse 15, I pray or that you should not take them out of the world, but that you should keep them from the evil. They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Sanctify them through your truth, or separate them through your truth. Your word is the truth. And did you know the word of Yahuwah will actually separate you from the world? If you'll spend the time necessary to study the word and to fellowship with the Father through the word, as you read his word, as you begin to be obedient to his word, then the scripture will separate you from the world. You may be struggling in being drawn into a lot of things that are not good for you, and if you realize that if you'll set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth, see, if you and I can control the desires that we have. Whatever you focus your attention upon is what you'll begin to desire. The more I study, the more desire I have to study more. The more I pray, the more desire I have to pray more. See, whatever you set your affection on, whatever you set your time on, you know, Yahusha said, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And what he means by that is, you know, whatever you spend your time doing, if you spend the majority of your time just, say, in the world or being associated with the things of the world, you know, your affection will be, you know, drifted away from the things of Yahuwah. But the more time that you spend in spiritual things, and being fellowshipping with him, then what's going to happen is it's going to create even a more desire to have that, to continue to allow that fellowship and that relationship to grow and develop. So I want to encourage you to think upon those things, that, you know, what you're spending your time upon is important, and you can create good desires in your heart. You know, it says in the scriptures, delight yourself in Yahuwah, and he'll give you the desires of your heart. Now, a lot of people read that and think and misinterpreted that, what that's saying, and thinking that, you know, that if I just, you know, receive the Messiah, then he'll just give me whatever I want. That's not what that's saying. It's saying that if you delight yourself in Yahuwah, then the desires that you have will be from him. He'll actually put desires in your own heart for his will for your life and where he's directing and guiding you. You know, I knew I was called to preach and to teach his word because the desires began to arise on the inside of me, knowing that that's what I wanted to do, but he had given me that desire. And that was because I delighted myself in him. And I would encourage you, you know, you may not be called to preach and to teach his word, but he has a plan for your life. He has certain things that that he's given you, and if you'll seek him first, then he will give you the desires of your heart. He'll put those desires that you have, and you'll begin to recognize, hey, this is the will of Yahuwah for my life, because I'm seeking him. And as you stay focused upon putting him first in your life, then you can be led and guided and directed in your footsteps and where you should go and what you should be doing. Thank you for your time today. Please share this with your friends. And again, know this, that Yahuwah loves you. And Baruch haba b'Shem Yahuwah, blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahuwah. Shalom.